Assalamualaikum Dr. Noliana and our fellow viewers. Welcome to the video presentation. We are from Group 12 and today we will be explaining several strategies to improve such stress tolerance in rice plants. These are my group mates that involved in today's presentation, which consists of me, Muhammad Khairi Danish bin Hamzam, and my two fellow friends, Faith Haikal bin Muhammad Dino and Muhammad Danish bin Abdul Halim. The objective of this video presentation is to identify the strategies to improve stress tolerance in rice plants alongside the example of the strategies used.
Rice, or scientifically known as Oryza sativa, falls under the genus Oryza, which is part of the family Poaceae. Generally, there are two types of rice species primarily cultivated for human consumption. The first one is Oryza sativa and the second one is Oryza glaberrima. Rice is also a monocot that can be grown as an annual plant, but at the same time can also be grown as perennial plant. Rice is also a great contributing factor to an increase in your carbohydrate in your diet regime as they are the main sources of carbohydrates.
Here are reasons why crop management is crucial. The first one is food safety concern. Crop management is essential to ensuring that there is a reliable and enough supply of food for the expanding global population. Next, effective crop management techniques aid in ensuring that crops are raised, harvested, and distributed to satisfy dietary requirements. The second one is resource effectiveness. Resources like water, soil, and fertilizers are waste less when crops are managed properly, utilizing these resources to their fullest potential while minimizing negative environmental effects are sustainable practices.
What is salinity? Salinity is a general term used to describe the presence of elevated level of different salts such as sodium chloride, magnesium and calcium sulfate and bicarbonate in the soil and water. Salinity can develop naturally. However, human intervention has disturbed natural ecosystem, changed the hydrology of the landscape and significantly accelerated the salinization of waterways and lands. In terms of response to salinity stress, plants can divide into two groups, which is halophyte and glycophyte, based on their level of salinity tolerance. Halophyte are plants that tolerate relatively high salt concentration, while glycophyte tolerate low concentration. Here is the pie chart that shows the global distribution of salt effect soil. So, the biggest salt effect soil is in Asia, the Pacific and Australia, while the smallest salt effect soil in North America.
Let's move to the part of strategies to improving such stress tolerance in rice plants. Enhancing rice plants' ability to withstand stress is essential, particularly in light of climate change and other environmental problems, which is drought and salinity. Therefore, there are various ways for improving stress tolerance in rice plants, such as salinity mitigation, drought-resistant practices, enhanced water use efficiency (WUE), marker-assisted selection (MAS), and phytohormone.
Another one is salinity mitigation. Salinity mitigation through increasing rice plant stress tolerance involves a multifaceted approach aimed at reducing the detrimental effects of high soil salinity on rice cultivation. This is achieved by developing rice varieties with enhanced salt tolerance traits, such as improved ion regulation and osmotic adjustment mechanisms. Additionally, innovative agricultural practices like alternate wetting and drying (AWD) and precision irrigation can help manage soil salinity levels. Together, these strategies contribute to sustainable rice production in saline environments, ensuring food security and resilience in the face of increasing salinity challenges. Here are some examples of salinity mitigation. The first one is leaching. Leaching is a process in which excess salts are flushed out of the root zone by applying excess water. This helps in making the soil less hypertonic and more hypotonic for plant roots. In return, this will improve salinity tolerance in rice plants. Another one is plant selection. This method uses salt-tolerant plant species or cultivars that can mitigate salinity, which can grow in saline conditions without undergoing severe stress, helping to manage soil salinity for the other crops. Another one is halophyte planting. This is a strategy of planting salt-tolerant plants alongside crops to collect and accumulate salts, which effectively reduce the soil's salinity. Last one is manage aquifer recharge. In areas with salt-affected groundwater, Managed aquifer recharge involves directing excess surface water into underground aquifers to dilute salinity levels over time. Another available strategy in improving stress tolerance in rice plants will be drought-resistant practices. Drought-resistant practices are a set of agricultural techniques and strategies aimed at overcoming the negative effects of drought stress on rice plants. These practices help rice crops cope with limited water availability and maintain healthy growth and yield. Drought is a major environmental stress factor that can significantly reduce rice yields. In regions with irregular rainfall patterns or limited access to irrigation water, it is essential to adopt a drought-resistant practice to ensure a consistent rice harvest. There are various key components for drought-resistant practices that can ensure the improvement of stress tolerance in rice plants. Here are some examples of drought resistance practices. The first one that we can see is alternate drying and wetting, or also known as AWD. This is a water saving technique that involves periodically allowing the soil to dry between irrigations. This practice reduces water consumption without compromising crop health and supply rice plants with enough hydration in case of drought season. Another one that we can see is controlled flooding. Instead of continuous flooding, controlled irrigation techniques are employed to maintain a consistently moist but not waterlogged environment for rice plants. This approach optimizes water use efficiency. The next one is mulching. This technique involves applying organic or plastic mulch to the soil surface to reduce evaporation, conserve moisture, and maintain a more stable soil temperature. Last one is early planting. Adjust planting schedules to take advantage of the available moisture and to avoid the peak of the dry season.
Enhanced water use efficiency (WUE) can improve stress tolerance in rice plants by enabling them to use water more efficiently and effectively during times of drought or other water stress. WUE also is a measurement of the biomass generated by the plant per unit of water utilized. Rice plants can sustain growth and productivity in the face of restricted water availability by enhancing their water uptake efficiency (WE). WUE can be improved using a variety of techniques including genetic modification and management practices such as irrigation, scheduling, and fertilization. So, here are examples of WUE. The first one is expression of Hardy gene. The Proceedings of the National Academy of Science (PNAS) published studies suggesting that rice's water use efficiency could be enhanced by expressing the Hardy gene, an Arabidopsis gene for salt and drought tolerance. The goal of this strategy was to boost the biomass of water rice and other crops. The second one is aerobic rice cultivation. Based on research, rice grown aerobically uses less water than conventional methods and has a considerable boost in water productivity. The water productivity in the aerobic system was 1.4 till 3.7 times higher than that of transplanted rice, ranging from 0.75 to 0.96 kg grain M-3. This technique can improve rice's stress tolerance and water use efficiency. Marker-assisted selection (MAS) is a process in which a marker is used for indirect selection of a genetic determinant or determinants of a trait of interest such as abiotic stress tolerance, disease resistance, productivity, and/or quality. This term MAS was first used by Beckman and Soler. These days, breeders look for traits like disease resistance and high yield. Traits are controlled by pieces of DNA called genes. DNA segments known as marker can be used as flags to track genes. So, here are examples of MAS. The first one is improving abiotic stress tolerance. Rice cultivators have utilized MAS to create rice cultivars that are more resilient to abiotic factors like salinity, submersion, and drought. Through the identification and integration of particular genes or QTILs linked to stress tolerance, rice breeders have successfully developed rice variety that perform better in tough environmental conditions. The second one is increasing yield and quality. MAS has been used to identify the features linked to yield, stability, and sustainability, which are critical for boosting crop production to satisfy the demands of a growing global population. This involves searching for characteristics including long-lasting, disease-resistant, effective use of nutrients and water, and general grain quality.
Phytohormone. During a drought, the soil experiences a lack of water or the absence of water at all. This will lower the pH value and increase the acid concentration in the soil. Drought and salinity can change the balance of ion in the soil, which can affect the pH. The concentration of hydrogen ions can increase in water storage conditions, which can lower the soil pH. Phytohormones play crucial roles in regulating plant responses to drought and salinity by influencing various physiological and biochemical processes. So here the example for the strategies are used in phytohormone. So here is the main phytohormone are used in the rice plant, which is auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, and ethylene. First is auxin. Auxin can help a plant adapt in rice plant to various stresses in the following ways. For example, root development. Auxins encourage increased root length and density. In order for a plant to receive water and nutrients from a bigger amount of soil, it needs to have a deeper and wider root system. This can be a huge benefit in areas that are prone to drought, since it enables the plant to access deeper water source. Water uptake. Stomata, which are tiny pores on the surface of leaf that govern gas exchange, can be controlled by auxin to open and close. Auxin aid plants in retaining moisture during drought circumstances by minimizing water loss through transpiration. Cytokinin. Plant hormones known as cytokinins are involved in controlling cell division and fostering overall plant growth. While their main purpose are related to growth and development, the following secondary effect might help a rice plant adapt to salinity and drought stress. For example, root development. Cell division is known to be stimulated by cytokinins, especially in roots. This may result in the development of a strong and widespread root system. Having a strong root system might be helpful in locations that are prone to drought because it enables plants to access water from deeper soil layers, increasing their resistance to water scarcity. Here is how gibberellins may contribute to drought and salinity tolerance in rice plant. Example, stem elongation and plant height. Gibberellins promote stem elongation, which can be beneficial in drought conditions. Taller plants may have an advantage in accessing light and reducing competition for limited water resource. Root growth. Gibberellins mostly affect above ground growth, although they can also somewhat affect root development. In locations prone to drought, larger, deeper roots are advantageous because they enable plants to access water in deeper soil layers. Ethylene may have some indirect impacts on plant stress tolerance. Example, stress signaling. In response to a variety of environmental conditions, including salinity and drought, ethylene can function as a signaling molecule. It might activate stress-related genes and pathways, causing rice plant to start responding to stress. Next is osmotic adjustment. In osmotic adjustment, which is crucial for preserving cell turgor and water balance under true stress, ethylene may play a part. Even in situations where there is a water shortage, osmotic adjustment enables the plant to preserve cell integrity.
During the making of this video, we managed to dug up some researches about plant hormones and its responses towards certain abiotic stresses, as you can see on the screen.